For more audio, visit zoomdar.bandcamp.com and check below the video for up-to-date links and other information on the recordings. Joseph Ste-Marie is a very talented actor. He's a graduate of John Abbott College's professional theater program and was the 2017 recipient of the Jason Panich Memorial Scholarship Award. Joseph has performed 4 times in the St-Ambroise Montreal Fringe Festival and is a 2-time recipient of the Spirit of the Fringe Award, which he won in part for his roles in Elevated Pushing Buttons and Justice on the Ropes, a Clint Hacker Mystery, in which he played the title role. He has also played Ezekiel Cheever in The Crucible, Paul Sycamore in You Can't Take It With You, and Mark in The Chrysalids. And on top of all of that, he's done some recent film and television work. Joseph, thanks for making the time to talk with me today.
My pleasure, Mark.
So this year you're back at the Fringe. What could you tell me about the play that you're in this time?
The play this year that I'm in is called The Get Together. It's about 4 friends who come together on the 10th anniversary of their friend's death. It's a one-act play. Basically, it's it's a pretty funny story. It's like a comedy, but it also gets serious a little bit. It's basically about mostly like generational, so mostly a bunch of 30-year-olds talking, but I think people are going to enjoy this. It's very like topical, and it's been pretty fun so far.
Okay, great. So what can you tell us about your role in the play?
Basically, my character's name is Rodman, which is basically the nickname of my character. He's very serious. It became more serious. Also, my character was basically a clown when he was younger and stuff. So basically, I play like a businessman, and I don't know what else to say.
I guess you can't say too much.
I don't want to spoil the show. That's the problem. It's like I don't want to. I'm trying to think of what to say without spoiling the show. I want everyone to
don't say more than that. I think that gives us a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
So how did you become involved with the play?
Well, basically, obviously, there's been a lot of audition notices this year, a whole bunch. I auditioned to a few. This one came up because I think they were looking to recast some of the roles in the play. And I answered the call for this one. And basically, me and another actor who's also part of the show also auditioned. We both read the scenes together. And basically, long story short, we were actually the only 2 that day who auditioned. And our writer, director, and co-star and producer, Shane O'Connell, liked what we did, and he cast us right on the spot.
What's the process been like preparing for this play?
Well, basically, for the most part, we rehearse twice a week. A lot of it's mostly we worked on our own, and for me, it's I had to research a couple of things, practice a couple of things on my own. We've been doing a lot of line runs because we have to depend on each other because we have to one has a line and one else has a line and all that. So I think with a one-act play, and we're all on stage basically most of the time. And so basically just bouncing off each other and pretty much trying to remember our cues. But also it's trying to have fun too, you know. And we had a few more rehearsal days because we had to cancel a couple in this process thus far because of scheduling conflicts and whatnot. But all in all, it's been a really fun process. I've been really enjoying it, and cast and crew is very great. They're very wonderful to work with, and I'm very happy to be part of the show.
What are some of the things that you've been doing on your own to prepare for the role?
Well, basically, it's just I always have. For me, it's personally, I always have to read all the lines, just not just my lines, but everyone else's lines. So just because I need to hear the lines. Some people just read out loud. Some people can just write out. Some actors do that. But for me, it's my process is just read all the lines. So it just helps me to remember everything better. And basically, there's been one little funny little bit, and I really have to prepare for a lot of choreography in a way that I have to prepare for. That I'm still working on it now. But for the most part, mixing that in jobs has been a little not so much challenging, but time-consuming. But it's been pretty good.
So what do you enjoy about acting?
That's a very good question. I never really have a really like that's a very good one. I just always just love like telling stories. Always have. I think it's just like you put yourself out there. I've always learned something when you're like on stage. Like you learn something about yourself and learn something more about the world. And it's just like being just a whole different feeling, a whole different rush feeling. And there's always nerves and everything else, but just like having fun. I would have to say thus far. Asking this question again in 10 years, I'll have like a different answer. But yeah.
Of the different projects which you've worked on, which would you say has been your favorite?
The Crucible and You Can't Take It With You are pretty much what those two shows have a really big space in my heart for those shows. Like the process for like Cheever and like obviously the Crucible like taught me a lot. But You Can't Take It With You like really taught me more and more about family. Like that's always had a big place in my heart, and the ensemble that I had for 3 years at John Abbott, that was a huge honor and privilege to be a part of. That is a big place. But apart from that, I've been involved in a few little film projects here and there. A few of them are yet to be released. They're still in post-production as we speak. But it's been like a really good experience. Like every day is a new day. Like you learn something new.
I was looking on your IMDb page recently, and I see that you've done some recent film and television work. Is there anything you can tell me about those projects?
Well, there was one project that I actually saw myself on screen for the first time ever last year called Tag Your Red. That was just like a huge project that was taken on by Danny Malin, like a local filmmaker and actor. He was looking for a lot of actors for small, like different roles. It's like kind of like a detective investigation type movie. So I got a small role in that. It was pretty fun. We actually filmed it here, like behind me. That was pretty fun to be part of. Like with the difference between theater and film and television, what I've seen thus far, it's like with film and television, you're mostly on your own. And basically, sometimes there may be just like one read through, like a little rehearsal beforehand, but the rehearsal process is completely different.
What would a dream project be for you?
I'm going to say this. One of my favorite plays is Angels in America. It's basically about during like the AIDS crisis. And that took place in New York. And I saw another, oddly enough, when I was in New York back in November, I saw a production that's currently still on Broadway called The Ferryman, which is about a family in Northern Ireland during the crisis and during the struggles with in Northern Ireland between the British troops and obviously the Irish citizens, the IRA, many Irish citizens. But both of them had a like family aspect to it. A lot of it felt like you were actually there, and like with Ferryman, there were so many characters, but yeah, everything was so fleshed out. Like I felt like I was there with them, and that would be like any of those shows will be my dream project. But yeah, it's like it's been interesting to be honest with you, Mark. It's been like interesting 2 years because it's like it's been 2 years now since I finished the year of school, and a lot of things have happened, and a lot of things that I didn't expect to happen. Some successes, some disappointments.
If you'd like to see Joseph's performance in The Get Together, it's playing at the Montreal Fringe Festival from June 6th until June 15th at Club Espagnol. And you can get all the details on the montrealfringe.ca website. I'm also going to post a link in the description. Is there a way people can follow you online?
They can follow me online. I have a Facebook fan page called Joseph Ste-Marie, actor/photographer. Basically, my Instagram account is at jstemarie.mtl. And yep, that's where you can follow me.
Okay, great. Well, Joseph, thanks again for making the time to do this. It's been really interesting to hear you talk about your play and all the other topics we discussed today.
My pleasure, Mark. Thank you for having me.